Bro, do I need to start back watching Joe Budden's podcast? What is even happening here? It says Mark Lamont Hill and Queenzflip almost fight after. I don't know what else. About to stop. Let's see.
There's a lot of you say that we take disrespectful before the
It's not shit you said that I take disrespectful. No, Imani, I'm not potting. I'm not potting.
Oh.
No, nigga, don't fucking say it. What you doing?
Who's this girl?
Are we talking or we potting? No, every time you get mad,
I've never seen that girl on this pod. Who's the guy on the right? I've never seen him either.
No, y'all can talk outside. No, y'all.
I'm talking to outside.
Not outside. You're not.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Mark and Flip almost fight. That's right. These were the two cast members Joe Budden was alluding to almost fighting Friday night. Yes, on Friday
Mark ain't
night
one of
of
my
last
favorite
week,
characters.
Joe Budden would go
I
on
feel like
Spaces
Flip-
and say two cast
Flip
members
ain't one of my favorite
almost came to
characters on here
blows.
either. I think Flip was good on his own thing. He just wasn't making no money for real from it. But at the same time, that's where he was the most entertaining. Him on this kind of don't.
And if
really
you
fit
have
to me.
that, hold on. If that really did happen,
And after that, many thought he was engaging in content over everything tactics. But from today's episode, we can see that wasn't the case. So this whole Mark versus Flip situation has been brewing over the last few months, with the two of them fighting for control of the show. It's almost like a reconciliation of Joe Budden's past and Joe Budden's future. In one side, you have Flip, the antic-driven man who's able to entertain
Control
in
of
an
the show.
empty room.
Man,
On the
if Joe
other
Budden don't
side,
take
you
back
have
over
Mark
his show,
Lamont
man, what is
Hill,
happening,
the
bro?
professor
Why is
who
it
can
days
take
where Joe Budden ain't even
conversations to
on the
the
show
next
now?
level. Over the last few
Like, take
weeks,
back over
it
this.
really started to reach a fever
Let's just be
pitch
real,
with
man. Just
exchanges
bring it back
like
to Joe
this.
Have you ever
Ice
thought about
and
getting at the topic?
Yo, in
No,
the
because that's what you got brought here for.
Nah, we are here to talk about the topic.
You got brought here for to talk. You can run your mouth so he can look at
That's
you.
what the
what you got
podcast is,
brought
bro.
for. Too many people
Mark-
talking.
Mark
I got
and
him.
Flip.
No,
He got me. He's about to fry me out.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm not frying you. It's too many people talking.
Flip.
I'm not gonna talk over
So we'll all be quiet. What topic do you want to talk about?
nothing.
But today it would boil over.
whole lot of
let's
nothing, huh,
outline
Flip?
what exactly led up to this moment. Now, as with all escalations, things start to begin with a little simmer. The joke that set this all off really was Mark's joke about Imani taking a short in the last negotiation.
How about you, Imani? Outside of the last contract negotiation.
And that ain't
This
true.
short.
2 years ago. 2 years
Oh,
ago,
mine.
too short. Wait, what did he say?
That is
That's not
what
me.
Flip is referring to as Mark sneak dissing.
And I
You
love
always
y'all.
do sneaky shit. and they Respect you.
It is not sneaky. I'm talking to you. You're not listening.
Then Flip says he's a team player.
Listen, pay attention, Ma. I need you to hear me. I'm a team player, so
But Mark is like, whoa. He responds with incredulous questioning, like, you really think you a team player?
You think so?
of course I am.
You really think so?
I am.
You really think you're a team player?
And as a watcher of the show, and as anybody else watching the show, everyone knows Flip is not a team player. That is one of
Nah,
Flip's
he-
tactics. He
Nah,
pays
really.
lip
He tried to kinda
service
take over the
to
show.
certain themes he wants out there about him. He is far from a team player. He has
Well,
fought
he used
almost
to. I don't know. I
everyone on
haven't
the show,
really
and he has been
tuned
the
in in a
reason
while.
for some of the most egregious acts of unprofessionalism that has ever occurred on the show. Then Mark follows up by letting the chopper go.
Flip is explaining how he's a team player.
Of course.
Like you are good,
movement-
you're generous, you
the
welcome new people, you don't get insecure, you don't fight for space.
I mean, this guy was saying a lot of stuff, and I think it was just getting there slowly but surely. And Flip follows up with his own disagreement about the assertion that he is not a team
Look at
player.
this,
My
bro.
man
It's
come
tired
to
of
me
this
like,
shit.
yo, hey, I gotta put out more. I need you to take a seat. I'm going to.
Flip then kind of unknowingly reveals he quit on the show, outlining that he has already made an impact.
I'm in my own world. I know what I already did. I know what I'm here to do. You can make all those faces you want to over there too, both of y'all. I know what I'm here to do.
Essentially trying to explain the way he's been behaving on the show as of late. Many have noticed he's been disengaged. He hasn't really been taking
Bro, Flip
part in
need to go back to doing his
conversations,
own
still
show.
arriving
He was
late,
good on
and
his
it's
own show. I
important
liked
to
him on his
also
own show.
remember
This
this
he kinda- it just
conversation is
don't fit.
happening all under the specter of Melissa Ford's absence. Well, not absence. She's no longer on the show. Could Flip's antics have led to Melissa
Dang.
Ford's exit and this
You made
blow
Melissa
from Mark?
Ford
Then
leave?
Flip
She
reveals
a
that
legend from the
Joe
six.
might have told Flip to fall back in
Bro,
light
you
of
made
Mark's
Melissa
addition.
Ford
Now, I don't know if that
leave.
really
Melissa
happened,
Ford
but
leave.
that just looks like the subtext
What
of this
in the world
conversation.
did you do to Melissa
J1,
Ford,
who
man?
happens to be there, also does a great job of pointing
See, this is
out
why I missed
that
the old
Flip with
podcast,
this
man.
back
Just
and
Joe
forth
Budden,
was insinuating he would take a pay
Rory
cut
and all,
for the
man,
rest
all
of the
this
team,
extra shit
and
they
then
got going
asked
on.
Mark directly if
As soon
he
as I
would take
saw
a
it with
pay
all
cut
these
so
people, I
other
just knew
members
something
of
was
the
gonna go
staff
bad. It's just so
could
many
receive
people on a
greater
podcast.
pay or the same pay.
And even back then,
he
Parks wasn't
even
even on
takes
camera.
it further
Like,
and asks
he
Mark if he
literally-
would take a pay cut for
sometimes he
anyone
talks,
up
sometimes he
there.
don't.
But Mark says not everyone should get paid the same on the show, and says some people deserve to make less.
Everybody says
Hello.
I got a question.
Now, I think these comments ruffled
I
some
mean, Joe
feathers,
Budden
not
should make
just
the
from
most.
Flip, but I even think Ish and
Then
Ice might have
Parks.
looked at this funny, and it
And
also
Ice and Ish should
harkens
make the
back to
same.
the
And then
conversation
nobody
that
cares
they
what
had
else y'all
about
make.
Hot 97 and how if certain members
long
of
as
the
y'all make
team
less.
that have, more leverage in the workplace, if they say other people are messing up, is that bad on that coworker?
Is it, if you work at a job and you have influence and power, but you're not the boss, is it f***ed up to try to get somebody fired?
Yes. If they don't mean you any physical harm or you don't feel threatened by them in a real way, I think you taking food off another man's table.
Then Mark almost makes a joke
I don't think I
that
ever in my life
sets
tried to
Flip
get
off.
somebody
Mark
fired.
up here to be the smart. But,
And they bring you to be the
Who
funny.
is this?
if
They
we
bring Flip-
say you couldn't possibly
He doesn't go all the way, but Flip knows that Mark was about to say a joke that was diabolical, and he starts to pump his chest up.
I ain't scared of you neither.
Let's talk about it.
Saying that Mark always tries to suck up to the rest of the cast. Well, really, Joe Budden and Ian, I suspect.
It's like a new kid that tried to suck up to a boss. He got to try to point flaws out of everybody else.
And Mark follows back by saying he's the one that's always sucking up to Joe.
I know you're not talking.
Yo, come on. I'll never suck.
When we talk about everything Joe said, yes, bro. Is it funny? You talking about Joe?
And I must say that, yes, it's true. Flip always is trying to argue. Like, he'll argue with Joe.
I do
but
agree and
he's
I disagree.
always constantly
I feel
seeking
like Flip
approval
do that
from him
because,
as
like,
well. Flip counters
his
by saying
personality
he
is,
does
like,
it
too
on the
much.
show,
So,
but that
like,
Mark
he try to see if
backbites
things is okay for
behind
him
the
to do.
scenes and tries
As
to
far as Mark,
manipulate.
I think he just
But
do
I
that.
don't do that behind
I
the
think
scenes
both
and
of
try
them
to
do.
backbite and talk about.
Neither do I.
That's
Essentially saying that Mark is a snake. Now, I believe this is where Mark started to get really angry and upset. I don't think he likes the perception of him being some type of, Machiavellian figure that is a puppet master and betrays people behind the scenes.
think
He
he
don't want that
betrays
out
people. I
there.
don't know nothing
Not
about
saying
that.
that that's what he does, but he don't even want that narrative out there. And Flip planted that seed, and now people are going to be running with that narrative moving
No, I don't
forward.
think
That's
that's
just how narratives go. Mark then starts to
see
get
that.
really upset because this insinuation was made, imploring Flip to clear up if he actually thinks that he does that.
No, don't put that down in the air like I do that.
First, Flip says he doesn't do that,
I don't know. No, I
Okay,
don't know.
thank you. Because I don't want people, because people will hear that and think I do that.
but then he says he don't know if Mark do that.
Well, I don't know if you do it.
So he's playing word semantics there.
I don't think he do
Mark
that.
follows up
As far
saying
as I know,
that
he don't
he's
do
gonna
that.
keep Flip's secrets, and they
I mean,
then get
from
into some back and forth
what
about
the
what
podcast
that may
displays,
mean.
don't do that.
With Flip saying Mark likes to use tricky words, and Mark saying those words that he uses are only tricking to him. Obviously, an insult
Yeah.
to Flip's intelligence.
Mark
But I
does be
wonder
doing that shit. He
what
just be saying,
Mark
like,
means
the
by
most
secrets. What type of
unnecessary
secrets? Is it the
words
secrets
possible.
that Flip has been
He
saying
just read
on
a
air
dictionary.
about family life not being
Not
well?
even that.
Is it secrets
he just
about,
has a extensive vocabulary
Flip being late,
that, like, majority
Flip
of the world is
hating
just
on
not
Joe?
really giving
What's
the care
going
to.
on? Leave the signs in the
care to
comments.
learn.
What do you think is the secrets?
Even
Flip
if you
then
do
says
know the
Mark
words, you
is
don't
seeking
probably use them in
acceptance
an
within the
everyday
different fan communities of the Joe Budden podcast, like the Joe Budden Twitter community.
You the busiest man in the world. You spend 1,000 hours trying to communicate and speak to people to be accepted
That's
by
our
people
job.
that this community that just built through the community.
And once again, Mark, he's saying that he does stuff behind the scenes to win favor with Joe and presumably Ian. Now, I want to zoom in on this point because
Oh, his
Flip
name is Ian.
often targets members of the show for trying to be cool with people from the Spaces community. Remember, the argument that Ian and Flip had, where they almost fought too, was about Ian talking to members of the Spaces, like my Spaces.
You keep coming up there playing around with people like, oh, stop, enough.
I'm gonna go there today, and I'm gonna talk about how you decided it, and you come up there and try to condescend and play with me in front of the people again. Yeah. Don't talk to me up there. Who you talking to?
And now,
New York people
Mark
so
is
aggressive.
being called out by Flip for going
Because
to
you would
the
think
JBTQ
if somebody doing that,
community and
somebody
also
about to
going
start
to
fighting, or
MySpaces
somebody
as
gonna
well.
at least yell back.
Flip does not like that, and it's a weird trigger that he
Or at least
has,
talk
and I
back.
wonder why. I don't know if he feels like the people behind the scenes in the Spaces community are manipulating things, and he doesn't like that show members are receptive to it. Then things really boil over when Flip calls those actions sucker shit. Yeah, I have to say it. Mark loses it and tells Flip not to call him a sucker.
Dang,
Mark's body
sucker free,
language
Mark?
then turns aggressive, with
Rest in
Flip
peace,
saying
Fast
he
Dave, man.
don't care, and Mark saying F you. That's right, Mark was taking it there all the way. And Flip says he wasn't calling Mark a sucker, but that he just likes to do sucker stuff. Hood semantics, y'all. He was calling Mark a sucker, but
Let's see,
because
well-
it was getting escalated and he realized it was the workplace, he tried to back
Let's
up
see
off
how.
that
Are you gonna play the
statement.
clip?
Imani
Did you
then
already play
gets
the clip?
up to calm Mark down by rubbing his shoulder, but we all know
Rubbing his shoulder
that
is
never
insane.
really works, and it actually makes things worse. Perhaps Imani was actually trying to get there and be in a position to stop Mark
Now
if
his name
he ever got
Imani.
up.
I'm so
Flip
confused
then
right
stands
now.
up, and Mark gets more defensive.
Imani,
of,
that's
you know,
what it
like,
is.
hey
It's
man,
in
why you
and it's
stand up?
Imani.
Don't stand up. You better not stand up. Ah! So Mark was really upset. Philly was growing strong within him. The streets of fights, the soul of Bernard Hopkins was raging in him. Then Joe wants Mark to calm down, but Mark says he doesn't like how Flip tries to emasculate the pod members with his street tactics. Now, that is an assertion made by not just Mark, but other members of the show. Remember when Ish told Flip, hey, you always trying to act like you the realest in the room.
You act like you the f***ing Don Dada, like everybody else up here is a fake, but you not the realest in the room. Stop doing
Yeah,
that.
I
Like
don't- I
you
don't
the
think
go-to.
Flip is good.
Yo, everybody else
Flip
up here
might be the
fronting except
fakest
you.
one.
So we gotta stop it because it's demoralizing us.
But
like
it
we
only, I only
that's-
say that
and that's not the
because he
case,
always
Flip.
joking around
And
so
Mark
much.
also said that
Like, I seem like- I
when
feel like
they
he
were
be playing
almost going to
around
fight
with
the first time.
Think about it. Yeah, but now I won't call you in the future. It's done. Because you was talking. Then it's done. You talking about, now you about to that happened after you did that.
So it seems like members of
Bro,
the
what is
show
this podcast
are off-put
turning
by how
into,
Flip
bro?
always inserts street tactics and lingo into content.
Man, they
and
both
Mark
need a
finally
off day,
got
man.
upset with that and called it out.
Let's,
Mark then begins to walk outside,
both an off
seemingly
day, man. Give 'em
insinuating
an
that
off
he's
mic.
prepared to fight and take it all the
Let's
way.
give him
But
an
then
off day,
Corey,
man.
the
What's
show's
going
muscle,
on?
reminds everyone that they are in
Oh,
hot
matter of fact, the
water
other clip
from
showed
the case
that
where
they gave Mark
Joe
an off
Budden
day.
was
Flip
sleepwalking,
was there.
and that if there's a fight, it's gonna look really bad. And Joe Budden even says like, "Yo, if y'all gonna fight, y'all need to go to like the projects up the street because we are in hot water with the neighbors." And there you have it. This
Two rich people
argument
fighting
will
over
have
something.
implications for months to come, maybe years to come, because it feels like the $20 million announcement by Joe is still rearing its ugly head. I feel like
What
the
$20
subtext
million
of this
announcement?
might have even made me glean that did Flip take a pay cut and then thought he was holding the team down, and then Mark joined and got paid more than him? It almost seems like that is something that may
Yeah.
have happened from the way the
I don't know. I
conversation
think-
went. And then the
man.
body language was crazy
I know he
too.
wasn't making enough
Like,
money,
Ish
but
and
from what I
Ice were
think,
not
I
at all
think
trying to get
Flip should go
involved
back
or
to that
break
show he
things
was
down.
doing, 'cause
I
that was
wouldn't be
actually a good
surprised
show. I
if
think
Ish
people
and
just
Ice were
didn't know it
agreeing with
existed.
Flip and did not like
That was
the
a good
stance
pod
that
he was
Mark
doing.
took about people
He used
getting
to bring
paid
in,
less
like,
than
old
others.
wrestlers.
Then there's
He
Mona,
was bringing
who
in,
just
like,
got to the show.
battle
And it's probably
rappers
like,
we
yo,
hadn't
these
heard
dudes
from
is
in a while.
crazy. And it says a lot
Joe as
that Mona
Mona,
came from
aka
$1 million
Don't
worth
Call
of
Me
game
White
and
Girl,
is looking at the
as
Joe Budden
a
podcast like,
co-host.
y'all are insane. But Mona
Why?
is also similar
Why
to
he keep
Melissa
adding girls
Ford
to the
in this
podcast? I'm not gonna be-
regard.
I'm gonna be
Who
real.
else came
I don't
from
get why
another
he keeps
successful
doing that.
podcast and then went to the
Like,
Joe
why do you
Budden
keep doing
podcast
that? What
and
worked for
realized,
him
yo,
was just
this place is crazy.
It was really just
Melissa
three dudes,
Ford. She was
four
on
was parts,
Hollywood
but three
Unlocked.
dudes talking.
And both, when they first came, would reflect on how bad the situations
Hollywood
were
Unlocked, I never
on
even
their
heard of that.
previous podcast, only to realize that they may have escaped one prison to end up in another prison. Plus, man,
I don't
listen,
He probably
it's
just gave
time.
it a chance.
I don't want to diss Flip. I don't want to. A lot of people say I have issues with Flip, but the truth is that he just
truth
is
is,
an
Flip just
agent
got a
of
big
chaos,
personality.
and
He
it might
should,
be time for him to
He
leave.
should, like I keep saying, he
It
should
might
go
be
back
time,
to his
not
own
for the
show,
sake of
man.
the Joe Budden
He was good on
podcast
that show.
only,
Plus, he get
but
to
for
be
the
the main
sake
focal
of
point
himself as
of
well.
that show.
You don't want
You
things
know?
to escalate to the point where there's a fight. What if Flip goes out there and Mark goes out there, they seriously injure themselves? And I think this is further
Look
proof
at how they
that
looking
Joe
at Flip.
Budden just doesn't
Look
know
at
how
how
to
Ice
prevent
and Ish are looking.
situations But
Joe
in
Budden think
his
it's funny.
lack of prevention, he
Why? See, even that, bro. Why is Joe
the
Budden way
entertainment
over
value of his
there? Come on, bro.
podcast.
This the Joe
But let me
Budden
know what you
podcast.
think.
Joe Budden gotta
Do
be
you
in the
feel
shot.
like this was
Why is Joe Budden
a
not in the
serious
shot?
situation
Make
that
it
they
make
will
sense.
sweep under the rug? I know there's a lot of folks
too many
who always take
mics
the
in the room, man.
stance
What's
of
happening?
they brothers, they love
why I
each
can't
other. This is
watch
how
this podcast
it gets
now. There's too
handled
much
in the
going
hood.
on.
Nah, this is a workplace, guys. It is not how things get handled in the workplace. And if they come to blows, things will never
that's
be
true.
the same. It's not. I don't think it's human.
That's true
get
too.
into
Like
a
if they come to
conflict,
blows and one of them like
fight each other,
completely went,
and then
like
sit back
the only
down
way
and
a
work with
fight
people.
solves
I'm
something
sorry, it's not
is if
a
it's
real
equal.
thing.
If it's
It
like
may
a wet
be
and wet fight,
when you're
that's the
younger,
only way a
when
fight
you're
can solve something.
growing
Because
up,
if somebody
but
just completely
at this
wins,
advanced age,
it look
all of
crazy.
them are. No, that's not gonna
like
go down
you
that way.
you gonna
Also,
feel crazy
Jaywan
the person that
returned this
lost,
episode.
and the person
Let's
that
say he
wins gonna
wasn't
be on
too
his
bad.
hours.
I
That's
know
just
a lot
the
of people
truth.
don't want Jaywan back, me being one of them, but maybe he's getting better, and a step away from the pod mic is allowing him to reframe things a certain way. But we will be monitoring
I
this
don't want
situation.
neither one of them, man.
Remember,
Ice, Ish, and
that
Joe
this
and
is
Parks. We
something
don't need
that has
nothing
been
else.
brewing
All this
for
adding
a
a million
long
people is insane.
time, damn near a year, with the arrival of Mark Lamont Hill.
I know that person said I'm
And
supposed to pause
it's
it.
also
I
telling
just keep
that
forgetting.
Joe would tell me on
Should I
Spaces
pause it
that
now?
he wants to pay me to
This is
stop
already
doing
started now.
videos.
Well, Joe, would you say who it was?
It's gotta be flipping Mark.
That would be great.
There's no way flipping Mark got into it. Stop.
Danny was provoking that.
Oh, see, so I'm missing some tea then. Is that true?
Yeah, Danny was just talking about that this week.
Yeah.
On a video? Which video?
It was the Mark vs. Flip Part 20 video.
Part 20.
I dropped it 2 days ago.
Why?
I want to pay Danny.
Why
to
do they
stop
have a
making
part
videos.
20 of them
Now,
versus
the
each
video
other?
I had just made
Part 20 is
about
insane.
a week ago, I had predicted that some type of blow up like this was gonna occur. I think Flip is gonna go there, and I think this is the early signs of a knockdown, drag him out that is probably gonna get cut out of a show in the future. So Stopstradamus is in full effect, and we will have to see where things go. With that said, follow me on Instagram to Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter to Stop
This was a good video.
TV. Follow me on Patreon to Stop. We just
All right.
uploaded a bunch of
W to
spaces.
Stop,
We're
man.
also
Good
going to be
video, man.
talking about the